Hi there, Dan West again. I'm going to do a review on my Porter Cable joiner, but before I do that, I'm going to do a review on this wireless mic. Yesterday, my mic just went out for some reason. Something in the transmitter where the little rod goes in, and I took it apart, and it's in that little housing, but you can't get to it. It's amazing. All the electronics in that little piece of plastic there. So I couldn't do any more recording on the doors that I'm doing, the stiles and rails and panels and all that. So yesterday I ordered, and to my surprise, I forgot what I paid for them. I thought I paid like $100. $10, it was $13 something. I bought two just in case the other one goes out. I got a reserve. Got them today, the very next day. Not even in the evening. Here they are. I'll tell you what. Now they're fragile. On the receiver, the little antenna comes out. You got to be real careful because that's one of the first things that happened to mine. The inside, it just broke loose. You can't pull out too much. So anyways, I'm going to hook these things up. I just wanted to show, I just got them, open them up. I'm going to hook it up. I'm going to finish this review on both them and my Porter. Okay, so here we are. I'm all hooked up. It works. And again, I got this the very next day. Now, this is how it comes. Why just $13? Plus tax. Here's a box. There it is, like this. That's how it comes. With a battery, both batteries. Now, the only thing you need to get, I would think, so I do all mine off my iPad. All my camera work. I'm going to disconnect the receiver and show you what you need to get. This piece here, because it's an adapter. I mean, if you this thing is a bit large, and when you're working with like an iPad, like I am. That's the only way you can get your sound. So, something else too, I didn't know. See the antenna? I left it. Oops. I left it wrapped up, and it's picking up my transmission fine. Now, this is not professional by any means. This is perfect for guys like me. And again, I'm talking to beginners, people who are maybe want to play around with woodworking or something, or maybe just try dabbling. There's a lot of young people out there that are making a living at it, and I don't blame them for getting high quality, and they're into websites and along with their video work, and then plus they usually have the room for all these different lighting paraphernalia and the camera. I personally like my iPad because my iPad's pretty large. What is it? You measure it on an angle. Check this thing. This thing's 12-inch, over a 12-inch screen, so I can see what I'm doing instead of a camera. We got to go in the back and look at it. Now I know it's more expensive. And they're more, focused and everything. But I get my stuff across. It's not professional by any means, and. I'm just saying that, boy, for $13, I bought two of them just in case, I got a backup. I got it the very next day. I mean, I live on Amazon. I know there's a lot of pros and cons to it, but hey, I hate shopping. I've never liked shopping. So Amazon is like angels for me. So all the other stuff, political and everything, that's another thing. So I can't speak highly enough about this company, and it's fragile. I'm gonna talk about my little joiner now. Same thing. You know, you got to be careful with it. You got to be delicate with it. Treat it right, and it'll take care of you. I mean, it's I've had this for quite a while. Now, on with the Porter cable. Let's take a look. I'm gonna swing it over here a little bit. Here's my little baby. I'll tell you what. I've worked in shops in LA before I went to France, and I was 12 years in France, and we had some machines, man. We made the LA shops look like beginners. We had some machines, and we had a lot of them. And ours wasn't a particularly big shop, but company, but it was well established for a lot of years. But I loved working on shapers. I loved it, and this thing, we had two planers, they're combination planer and joiners, where the tables lift up, and then it's a planer, thickness planer. And I don't know what those things are called. I've heard it a few times on the internet, but we never had knives. We had these rollers and had little squares. I know there's a name for it. I don't know what the name is, but from day one, that's what we had over there. And on our sticker, if you know what stickers are, you get rough lumber. It's rough to cut, and then the sticker roughly shapes it or gets it to the size. A lot of time we use that for our door jambs and whatnot. Anyways, great machines, So this little thing here, I saw it for like over $200. I don't think I paid $200 for it. I bought it, 2000. I got here 2010, maybe 2012 or 2011. I bought this thing, and I've used it for quite a while. I never thought about giving reviews, so I just happened to be on last night. And I'll tell you what, this little baby, I don't know if you know, I've got a Rubo bench here. If you can see this, it's my Rubo bench. There's my leg vise back here. I've got a site, a video on it. When I made this bench, I never thought about doing videos. I never did it. And then after I had made my bench, and I made 1 or 2 videos, people asked me if I have a video for my bench. Well, no, but I got a lot of pictures. So I put up another video on just the pictures showing what I did, the process. I'm just giving dialogue in the background. What I'm getting at is this bench, 683 pounds. That's empty. With all the stuff I've got on here, and I've got a storage at the bottom, that thing's well over 700 pounds, right? All out of Douglas fir and kiln dried, clear, quarter sawn. So it's really pristine lumber. All 2x6s, right? S4S, already, surface 4 sides. This little baby here, I built this bench with this thing here. I'm telling you, and I had some long feet. You just make yourself some extensions, But this little baby here, cut everything on this bench, and of course my DeWalt thickness planer, DW 734, did all the thickness planing. In fact, I just turned the blades around just now. I can't say enough about this thing. This little toy, it has got all little doodads and little adjustments, like the big ones I had back in France. It's a cute little machine, but it does a man's work. It really does. You just got to treat it like a machine, right? The fence isn't super heavy, but I mean, if you treat it right, depending what you're doing, Hey man, I was putting 6x legs on this thing when I had glued up my legs. So this thing was square. This table's right on. If you know what you're doing, this is a great machine. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll ruin anything. Give you a tank, you'll probably screw it up. But no, this is a great machine. I can't speak highly enough about it. And what I'm doing is getting my raised panels and my doors, and I'm gonna I've got every all thickness laying down the panels. I got to glue the edges. So instead of putting it on my bench, I'm just going to run them to the joiner. I'm too lazy right now to take a plane to them. So I'm going to do it that way. And I'm going to use biscuit joints and glue them up. But I can't say enough about this. What I didn't like, the only thing I didn't like about it was the guard. It didn't seem free enough to me to when I'm pushing stuff, especially if it's pushing the limit. I didn't like that. And if you'll see people on TV, I've seen a few times, they've always got to let loose their stuff and with their left hand moving. I don't like that. You'll see I don't have guards on my saw. When I framed with my guard up, framing. I'm not saying that's what you should do. What I am saying is, as a young man, I was taught by a man years ago, and I was still in school, and he said, you know, Danny, life is about habits, any kind of habit. Habits with your wife, habits with your coworkers, habits with your work. He says, develop good habits, because there's a lot of ways to do anything. But there's usually only one good way to do anything. And learn the right way and make that your habit of doing. And I worked in a machine shop for a few years. Ran computerized milling machines, and especially around a machine shop, you've got to be, you know, tooling and heavy cutters and all that. You've got to really be careful what you're doing. And I've learned what not to do. I think sometimes all these doodads, these plastic, don't get me wrong, I hate to, but I mean, some of these plastic pushers and all that jazz, they're cute and everything, but what are you doing? You're putting your hand right over the blade. You know, these push sticks and everything. I don't care. You know, there's other ways of doing stuff like this, and you can use other push sticks if you need to, and all these other things on top of the saw blade, on a table saw. To me, with the sawing I do, it gets in my way. For example, let's say you're by yourself, you don't have an outfeed, and you've got say a 2x12, one by 12, and you want to cut some, say, stiles out of it, 2-3 inch stiles out of it, and it's long. Well, how do you do it? You take that thing and you push it about halfway or maybe 3/4 of the way, then you lift it up, take it out, turn it over, and cut the other part. And as you get to the new cut, lift it up, set it aside, and pull the other way. You don't have to have an outfeed. I mean, it's good to have an outfeed, but if you don't, I'm saying there's ways to doing things without putting yourself in arm's length. You got an outfeed, now what are you going to do? You're going to push it all the way through, and sometimes you just put your hand right through it. I mean, I do that, but then again, I know enough that nothing's going to startle me to where I'm going to go across the blade. I don't care what it is, you know. I'm going straight forward. I'm not going across that blade or nothing. I'm not going to reach for anything. And this is what you got to learn things like this, because I've tried working with these guards, and on some jobs we had to have on. They were just a pain in the neck, especially when I would scribe. I would scribe things with the table saw. You know, that's another thing. So, yeah, I don't have the guard. I have the guard, but I don't have it on my joiner because of that reason. It's just, to me, I'm not going to put myself. I know how to use our joiner in France. That's a 20-incher, right? Man, monster. Never had a guard on it, so you know, we just learned, and no one ever got hurt because no one, you know, is stupid enough to put their hand in. You know, you're working with machines. You've got to pay attention. No jewelry. I can't tell you how many times I go on TV and I YouTube, and I'm watching these gals all over the world work. No offense, power to them, but it's like they come out of the salon. They got watches, rings, jewelry, you know, but they got their goggles, they got their mask, they got their ears, all that jazz, but they got all this jewelry on, these rings. I tell you, I can tell you some stories about people who got hurt with losing a finger with a ring on, you know. Anyways, so it's a great machine for what it is. And again, I'm in a garage. I have no room. Believe me, I'd love to get Grizzly's combination. It's about $3 grand. It's a combination joiner and thickness planer. I'm almost kind of thinking about it, but right now, when I get done with his bench, I'm building a wall-hung tool chest, which is going to really help me as far as organization. I hate my stuff all over the place like this, but what can you do? And then all this stuff in the back is going, and all my machines are going to go back in and none of that junk is going to be on a back wall. So, but again, I can't say enough about this. For the money, you can't beat it. This is a great little machine for what it is, and I'm not getting paid by anybody. You know, I don't do this for a living. I do it for fun, hoping that maybe I can help out, you know, beginners, you know, who starting out, man or woman, whatever, because that's where I would like to help people. The other guys out there for more you know, skillful things, and you know, they're beyond the beginner. They have a place also. I'm just trying to, you know, maybe bring up little things here and there for you know, for the beginner. You know, like I was previously on this video, I was talking about story pole. I can't push the story pole hard enough, especially when I was laying out for this this bench. And I just did a story pole a video on how now I took and got all the fine dimensions for the drawers, vertical and horizontal dimensions, all the spacing and everything. And from that story pole now, all I do is mark lines, right? And from that story pole, I get all my my dimensions. Got a little detail there for the dado and the tongue and groove there I'm going to put, and for the 3 section, there are 3 bays there, and I sit there and from my story pole, there you go, bay 1, top of the case, little space there. That's the spinner drawer. It's a big drawer. The spinner, it's a ball spinner for the man's machine, goes in there, and there's a bottom spacing. And from there I get all my dimensions. Same thing. This is for the, this goes on a, see where I locate this. Yeah, I located it here, up against the 4x4. There's my spacing, and as I go across, I start marking out for all the drawers, the spacing, the web, the overlap, because the drawers are going to overlap the webs. Okay, that 2, that's bay 2, and this is bay 3, and that's all the horizontal dimensions. I mean, it's so simple, you know. You get there with a, you know, tape measure and measuring up and down everything. It is so easy to transpose a number, misread your ruler. A lot of ways to make errors where this is, I mean, dead nuts. And then as you make your pieces, you can lay your story pole to verify, is that the right width, or is that the right height? Is that the right location? Because it's right there. You know, you're not looking at a number, piece of paper. What's that going to tell you? And don't get me wrong, I mean, I worked some of the high-rise there in LA. I was a superintendent for the big construction companies there. And I know how to read prints. I took architecture and drafting in school. And of course, while I was in the machine shop, I read machine blueprints. And as I got into construction, architecturals were no problem for me at all. So I'm not against them. They have their place, surely. I'm talking about when you're building like a case here, a set of cabinets, that's where a story pole really helps. Or you're doing a room with a lot of molding, say the wainscoting with some fancy molding in it, and maybe that molding is going to conform to a door you put in there. That's where now the door heights and everything, all that has to correspond with your overall decor, depending, That's why I'm saying story poles really have their place. Not to build a building. I'm not saying a story pole and build your house, no. So, anyways, again, this little baby here, it's a toy, I tell you, but this little sucker really works good, And I'd like to have something bigger, but Porter Cable, they had their head on straight. And my table saw it's a Porter Cable. You know, it's not a really high-powered cabinet shop table, but I tell you what, for me, sucker works good. I do everything with it. So again, you treat them right, you treat your machines right, keep them clean, you know, don't abuse them, and I'll tell you what, they'll take care of you. So, and the most important thing, learn how to work safe, right? Don't get so interested in all these doodads they have out there, and then it makes you careless because you think everything's safe now. One of these, like a saw stop, I'm sure it's a great machine. I mean, really, you know, but gee whiz, when that thing takes off, it blows everything away underneath. You never, I mean, God, I think it's great, but why even think about getting your finger in around the blade anyways? You got to be doing something really stupid to get your hand that close to the blade. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can get too, I don't know, your mind wanders, or you think everything else is taking care of you when you got to take care of yourself, you know. So learn how to work safe. Anyways, that's it. That's my spiel on this baby. And on a microphone, man, what a good outfit, great company. So with that, I'm going to get back to work. And doors, it's just tedious. I'm going to cut all my stiles and rails now and run them with the my router and all that. Not router, but my router table. Get all the grooves and everything. And so I got a lot of work now. So catch you later. See you in a little bit. Thank you. Bye.